people apart from Oliver.
Question one.
Right. Okay. Lean in, guys. Say hello.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Jamie, and I am the CEO and founder of Intuit.
Hi, my name's Oliver. I'm a partnership teaching assistant, program advisor, and web developer.
Hi, I'm Chloe, and I'm in charge of all of our social media, such as Instagram.
Just Instagram and
Yeah,
the
just
rest.
Instagram. See what social media we got in it.
This is our first time.
Oh, you made it sound weird.
Doing a podcast, and we thought it would be the best. We thought it would be the best way to, to answer a lot of the questions about who we are and what our vision is. So, sort of leading straight onto that, we are a recruitment agency and web development agency for schools in London. What that means is we build personal branding websites for free for any staff that come and work for us. We offer full-time roles, and at the moment our full-time role that we're advertising for is the partnership program for September. Oliver, do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so what is the partnership teaching assistant program? Well, it's a kind of a program that we thought about really, which is going to really look to attract some of the best and brightest teaching assistants that are currently out there. And we're thinking of kind of ways that we could really stand out from other agencies, but also on top of that, kind of what we're going to be able to give back to the various teaching assistants who are actually successful on the program. And we definitely found like a number of incentives. Usually the biggest one obviously is a big financial incentive for candidates to actually get a financial bonus at the end of the academic year on top of the weekly rate that they currently get. There's also like other things. There's a Croatia retreat that we're looking to build up from the ground. There's a inter-school kind of bike scheme for you to do. And as well, just with the personal branding, things like the building a free website about how important it is. So just talking about the kind of personal branding, Chloe, how important would you say branding is?
Well, branding for anything is important, but personal branding is the brand new thing. I'm sure you all know. I'm sure you all have social media accounts, and if you don't, what are you doing with your lives? So personal branding straight up is so important because you're not working for a business, you're working for yourself. So the kind of persona that you put out there is just so important. So we want to do that for you, and we're just gonna get your best self out there is basically what we want to do for you.
Nice. Well, yeah, our approach is, personal branding is also for us about how we approach schools as well with your websites once we've done it, because we want you to skip the queue. There's going to be a lot of schools now looking for staff. There's going to be a lot of people applying for jobs, and do you want to be labelled as just a piece of paper with writing? If you think about it, what is going to make you stand out? Why is the school going to choose you?
Yeah.
How can they get to know who you are just off of a profile or a CV? So we're trying to change the way recruitment is done, to be honest, and it ties in with our web development sort of approach, because we really want to empower people to stand out from the crowd. So
exactly that. Sorry, just to interrupt, Jamie, but when you think about how many people, as you say, are going to be applying for these roles, and I feel that now, while CVs and profiles kind of give schools a decent indication of what you're like, I feel like the website approach that we've all been discussing about, I feel like it's probably going to be the new big thing, really, because as you say, CVs and profiles, they're just pretty. CVs and profiles, they're quite good, but again, it's like schools will be getting 20, 30, 50, even more CVs and profiles every day, and it's just a bit like, I just feel like even if it's a good profile, it's not really going to stand out. And most other agencies will be using them, but actually I feel like the web development scheme that we're looking to do, building up people's websites, again, for free. There's no charge for them. There are, if you were to actually pay to have a website done for yourself,
you're looking £100.
Yeah, exactly. It'll cost you a few £100 at least.
I don't want to talk about it.
Actually, for us to do it for free, and for us to then use that to get you into school for one of these long-term roles, and to get you on the partnership program, I feel like it's definitely the way forward.
I will say as well that this is something that you will own, and you can use it inside and outside of the organisation. A really good thing to think about as well is, like, you know, anyone with a personal interest or hobby or side hustle or anything that you might have, you know, there's sections for that on the website, you know, which you can put on there as well. And if you just think about what that like, how much more does that tell the potential employer about you as a person? You know, they can really get to know you. And, you know, the key feature, one of the key features and the massive difference between what we're trying to do and other agencies is the contact portal on your website. You know, schools are going to feel like they've already got to know you quite well, and they will contact you directly through your website, which again just cuts out the middleman in a sense. You know, schools are able to go directly to you. It removes the whole thing about going for a trial day at a school and schools not really knowing who you are or knowing too much about you other than looking at a piece of paper. Because, you know, how many times, whether you've been in this position or not, how many times would you have gone to a trial day before? You know, school is normally a really busy time of the year. It's quite unpredictable. You won't always get staff coming up to you and asking you questions like about who you are. You know, you're just seen as another body, and sometimes you don't get the chance to stand out, or you don't get the chance to really explain to someone senior who you are, and get them to know you. Exactly. So again, this just kind of it makes schools know who you are, and again, just it massively improves your chances of being asked to go back again. Because don't get me wrong, it happens. You get great candidates that go into schools, and it's so busy and it's so much going on that, you know, you just don't really get the best opportunity to present yourself in the way that you do. And then it's sort of, you think, okay, maybe I did like the school, but I didn't like the role, and it's not really anyone's fault. It's just the nature of how this is with placing
this
staff,
industry.
you know?
Yeah, exactly. And just with that, really, I mean, I was going to say about how, in regards to kind of making that impression, obviously schools are really interested in seeing about your experience, your education, what roles you've done before. But actually, one thing I've noticed, and from my other job when I was a recruitment consultant, that one of the kind of areas that lots of people really do neglect actually on their CV is their kind of hobbies and interests. And you have to remember, even though obviously schools are really interested about where you've worked at before, what your education is, etc., a lot of them are also going to want to make sure that you have a bit of character.
Chloe's having a dance.
Yeah, Chloe's just dancing in the background. But yeah, just with that, I mean, schools want to make sure that you have a bit of character. There could be things that, say, for example, you and a member of the senior leadership team can actually kind of connect with, and it could actually be quite an interesting, you know, work environment. And I definitely feel like, I mean, one of the things that we want to do at Interwed when building up these websites is to make sure that when people are submitting their CVs, that it's as up to date as possible for us, just so we can obviously make sure that obviously your experience and education section is really good, to make sure that your hobbies and interests are, you know, really stand out to the schools. Because again, no one wants to work with a boring person at the end of the day. They want to make sure that
why are you both looking at me?
They just, you know, people want to, in any industry, and especially education, where you're spending, you're in close proximity with one another. They want to make sure that you've got a bit of character, that there's something about you, as opposed to, oh yeah, I just want to work in a school and that's kind of it, really.
I mean, especially in 2021, I'm going to come in here, guys, hi. Especially in 2021, it is such a big thing to be an individual and be unique and essentially stand out from the crowd. And at Interwed, all of us are staring at me, at Interwed, it is very important to us. We want every candidate to be their own person, just unique to what they are and who they are. We don't want to just pick you up, make your website and just leave you. So with making these websites and, you know, having your hobbies and personal interests, we want to make sure that you are giving the best version of yourself to us and to the schools.
Nice, definitely.
And just with the you know, touching more on the partnership teaching assistant program then, and how it's all linked. So, you know, in a usual sort of agency setup, there will be sort of number of consultants, and, you know, as you will well know, that consultants is more like a commission structure in place for these organisations. And, you know, how we're set up is we sort of don't have a room full of consultants. We are more advisors and people that sort of connect you to the schools that we have our contacts in. and any of the commission that would usually go to a consultant actually gets held back for you to collect at the end of the school year. So you still get your daily rate, you still get paid weekly, just like every other usual agency. But we hold back a share in the profit of the company. We think that it should go to you, and it sort of works out to about £5 a day. And yeah, like I said, it gets collected at the end of the school year, so it's something to look forward to just before the summer holidays.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you take into consideration, I mean, Jamie, how many? There's like what 196 working days within a school. So you can do the maths at home or wherever you're listening to.
Right now.
I mean, you're looking. Let's put it this way. It's a fair sum, really. You're getting probably just shy of about £1,000 on top of your daily rate at the end of the academic year. So whether you want to go and spend that in all at once in the summer or do whatever you want to do with it. It's just, exactly. I think lots of people haven't been on holidays, but I mean,
speaking of holidays.
Speaking of holidays.
Speaking of holidays.
Jamie, do you want to talk a little bit about how the Croatia retreat that we're looking to promote as well?
So how it come about is, we have a very close sort of connection to Croatia. Intered have a close connection to Croatia. We do work there, over there in the summer. We have an office over there. And what we do is we are running a 3-day sort of hiking and chill package for key workers and their friends, or their friends, which is £48 for 3 days. And it involves 2 hiking trips. A hiking trip is about 2 to 3 hours long. There's 320 steps to get up, which and sort of quite a few quite long terrain. So
we can stop at every turn and cry. I will be there for you.
But it's just it's such an amazing scenic view. If you go over to our website, there will be details there, and there will be stuff on our social media. But it's all about the health kind of vibe. Change the way you go on holiday. We've all been gone through this. This year where everyone's sort of stuck inside, have we been as active as we usually would,
Probably not.
and things like, this hike and chill it's just about, getting some sunshine, seeing some amazing views and beaches, getting some exercise in there as well. On the first day, we do a hiking tour in the morning, and then you've got the afternoon to yourself. We do have an itinerary set out, and there is lots of information of things that you can do in your free time. Yeah,
I got your words.
In your free time on the second day, Chloe kindly put a huge list together for you guys. So there's all types of things. There's the free stuff you can do. There's the moderately priced things you can do. And there's the expensive things you can do. And one of those expensive things is actually visit the set of Game of Thrones, which is not too far away.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I've never watched Game of Thrones, actually.
No, neither have I. Nope.
I have. So,
there's always one.
One of the big sets there. It's in, they shot it in Croatia. It's
about 2 hours away from. Yeah. It's a whole day trip. But anyway, there's loads of things you can do. You can go visit the islands and stuff. But for us, it's guaranteed that if you pay £48, whatever it is, you get the morning tour on the first day. On the evening, you meet us again. We've got a boat which we will have. Yeah. And exclusively for our Intered groups, and we go out for a drive around the port. Lovely sunset on it really is nice and relaxing and calm. Day 2 is you do whatever you like. We'll be connected through WhatsApp group, but you will do what you probably have your own plans. Do something yourself. For the day, we give you loads of recommendations where to eat and stuff in the old town, whatever you want to do. And then on day 3, we meet up again in the morning to do another hike. We'll take a different route this time. Again, we'll chuck in some exercise if you want to. Any level of fitness is, can do this. If you are sort of, if you are, a bit of a fitness,
fanatic,
like myself, then we will be doing a bit more like hit workout and stuff like that. We can chuck it in. And again, if not, you just want to chill, take some photos. You might want to do some stretching and conditioning stuff.
Some yoga or something.
Yes, we provide. We can bring yoga mats, stretching bands. We've got all that equipment as well. A water bottle, because there's hydration points at each thing. Yeah. So there's more about that. We won't go too much more into that, but there is more about that on the website. There's a promo video there, so check it out.
Great.
So yeah.
I love talking.
How's your
Croatia.
day? How's your weekend, Oliver?
Yeah, it's been fine. I mean, just with this as well, I mean, talking about the partnership program, I mean, obviously we've been speaking about the incentives, the big one being obviously the financial incentive, or almost acting like a bonus for someone at the end of the academic year. You got the kind of like the discounted bike section, which is about kind of obviously we have a sort of a partnership with Halfords as well, so we'll be able to give you a £300 voucher that you can actually use. You can spend on whatever bike you'd like, and it's also we also provide a 0% interest kind of scheme, like finance scheme. So more or less, if you're a bit uncomfortable about paying the whole £300 off, you can easily do it within instalments. I think over the course of it's about like 15 weeks.
Yeah.
I think
to 20 weeks.
And yeah, just with things like about the personal branding, the Croatia retreat, the financial incentive, the kind of bike scheme. I mean, obviously there is kind of a relatively detailed criteria about kind of actually how to get onto the partnership program. So the main ones, obviously, you have to complete the interest survey, which is on the Interwed website. If you go to the candidate portal section, there's also doing like the standard vetting procedure, so just sending us things like a passport, DBS, couple of proofs of address, and reference details. With the references, you'll probably need to make sure that they're either a good to excellent standard. Anything that's a average or below average, if you have a comment like that, you'll probably be the case that you'd have to do a 6-week kind of probation period, which takes you up, if you to start a role, for example, in September, it'll probably likely take you up until the first half term. And just like various other things, like you'd have to create like an 8 to 10 second video just introducing yourself, about kind of who you are, what role you're looking for, what area you're looking to work with, and the schools will be able to see that directly. So it's just a nice little introduction to do for yourself. And obviously the final kind of big one will be that you'd have to have worked within a primary school kind of for at least one academic term within the last year, like basically during the pandemic.
Or a secondary or SEN school as well. But yeah, just ideally, obviously to get straight onto the partnership program, you must have worked in a school for at least one academic term. If not, again, similar, you just got to do a 6-week probation period anyway, which we will get into the school. Just as long as everything's going well, we can get you on there. So on that, big thing to mention, obviously, is we are opening we're putting the advert out on the 30th of April. We're putting the advert,
So this Friday,
This Friday, So we're putting the advert out on the 30th of April, and the advert will be closing on the 30th of May. So we need to get this out there, guys. We need to spread the word. We need to get, let your colleagues know if there's,
Make them all quit their jobs and join us.
But it's like, just kind of think about what the benefits are, and we want to try and get as many people on as we can. We do have a lot of roles for September. We do work with a lot of schools in London, and based on where you live and what your experiences and what your requirements are, we will look to get you into a school and put you forward for our roles. So, we are just going to be spending the next month going through applications and speaking to every single person that gets in touch. There will be some details below. If there's anything else that you think that you might need to know about the partnership program, let us know. If you want to have a discussion about, your personal branding websites, and we are here to help you and to get this built for you, so we can move at your pace. Don't be shy. We're very sort of, chilled out and laid back here. I am. Chloe can be a bit angry sometimes.
A bit. I'm fuming now.
Cool. I mean, hopefully that gives you a bit of an insight as to, what we've got going on here and what we're trying to do. And we would love to hear from you. We'd love for you to join us. I think what was that? That was one take, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
I'm pretty happy with that. That's
Yeah,
That's
good.
that. That's one for the boom
Yeah, I think,
reel.
it's the first podcast. It hasn't. Yeah, I think it went well actually. I mean, obviously now going forward in regards to like what schools are looking for, especially for September. I mean, it's one thing that actually we should have mentioned a bit earlier.
We missed the main
Yeah.
part. What about the schools?
Who?
What? Yeah.
So like, what schools are going to
What
be?
are they?
What schools are going to be thinking about now is mainly just about catch-up schemes. I mean, what's happened now, obviously, with schools potentially
Closing
being
the gaps.
closed.
Yeah.
Closing the gap. Schools have been shut or running at reduced capacity, more on and off about the best part of a year now. So the best thing, what really schools are looking to do now is making sure investing in kind of these catch-up programs and bringing in new support staff in order to help the children who were affected the most by the pandemic and children who weren't as affected during the pandemic. So it's going to be a massive thing, really. So that's probably definitely the reason why schools are going to be looking for like the best and brightest teaching assistants, and it's the reason why Interwed are also looking to launch this program, because again, throughout the pandemic, I think it's fair to say that teaching assistants and those working in the wider education facility probably were the most kind of like the unsung heroes, like quite underrated people in regards to the fact that they're still going into work nearly every single day. They were kind of putting themselves at risk, obviously, going on public transport and stuff like that, really. So it's and also as well, actually, what we'll link it in the podcast as well. There is actually an article written in the Guardian by someone who we know who actually talks a bit about. Exactly.
Can we big up Sally real quick?
Yeah, exactly.
Sally.
So it's a really
We'll try.
it's a really interesting article. It only takes maybe about 5 or 10 minutes to read, and it really pays like homage actually to the teaching assistants.
Big up, Sally.
And people
From
who
the Guardian.
it really pays homage to those who actually work throughout the pandemic, especially in the education sector. And again, teaching assistants have been the unsung heroes, and we've had time to look at the partnership program and actually look at who we want to get onto it and whatnot. So I mean, guys, any other closing thoughts? Chloe, anything from you?
All my thoughts are closed.
Yeah, to be fair.
I've got nothing left.
Yeah, to be fair.
All right, cool. We're good. All right, peace out, guys.
See
Bye.
ya. Bye.
In a bit.
Tuning in. Laters.
Bye.
Oh my God, it wasn't recording.
Yes, it was.
No, it was. No, it was.
I was going to say.